So I think that's really, really fantastic offer for everyone to come along and enjoy some greyhound action.
Okay, excellent. I'm sure many people will take advantage of that. Lucy, good to talk to you. Good to see you as always, and no doubt we'll catch up with you later in the week.
Great stuff. Thank you, Stu.
Brilliant.
Runners are coming out for Division 2 of the maiden, and a mile again is the trip, 14 of them. Mississippi is 3-1 here. Gold Edition is 100-30. Briar is 13-2 from 8, so it's been quite well backed. And then we have Pacific Heights at 15-2, Eagle Power at 8s, 14s Albeida, Classwind 16s, Miqdar 16s, and 20s, and big at the rest. Mississippi 3-1 favourite.
Pacific Heights here, Dave, is currently a 15-2 chance, a cast out from Aidan O'Brien and picked up for 20,000 by Current Connections, and they got some reward on that and his only subsequent start when he ran Tartiflette close at Doncaster at last autumn. The form of that got a bit of a boost at Newbury the other day.
Yeah, this is a horse who had just one start for Aidan O'Brien before joining Tim Pitt. That was a good run, just beaten a neck at Doncaster on probably it was the last day of the flat season, I think, or the turf season, wasn't it? The 5th of November. That sets the standard in terms of the figures here. It's a question of can the likes of Mississippi second time up or the likes of Gold Edition first time up reach it. I think it's fair to say it's not an unassailable or an unreachable standard, but it is the standard nevertheless.
That is Pacific Heights on the way down. Let's just talk generally for a moment. Again, you had a good look at them in the parade ring. What did you make of them as a group of individuals?
Again, I thought they were a decent enough bunch. I know, Stuart, you were keen on Miqdar and Nimble Thimble. I thought Pacific Heights looks quite good, and I hope I've got the right horse. Highball Roller I thought looked okay physically. They all behaved themselves. Brian made a bit of a noise as he approached the paddock, didn't he? But
he was first one up, wasn't he?
He was the first here, but by the time he'd pretty much got to the paddock proper, he was just walking around as if he'd been doing this sort of thing all his life.
He has been backed from 8-1 into 13-2. The Street Cry colt is a half brother to the French 1,000 guineas third Rahaya. And Mark Johnston's filly on debut in the previous race, Rahiba, despite hanging across the track, acquitted herself with credit in filling out third. We've got joint favourites now, 100-30 Gold Edition and Mississippi. Mississippi has been gelded since his only start behind Nephrite at the Curragh.
Yeah, that's right. Formerly with Dermot Weld, although was owned by Sir Robert Ogden then. Now the switch to Brian Meehan. I think it's fair to say showed promise at the Curragh first time of asking without setting the world alight, but interesting that there's been support for him. He's been gelded in the interim as well. Gold Edition, a colt by Mr. Greeley, well related as you would expect, and I think that I always have a thing about the Nasida yards. You know, when they think they've got something, that often is telegraphed through the betting markets, and so he was
due to run in the Wood Ditton, wasn't he? He was quite well touted before that, and then they took him out on the morning of the race.
Yes, that's right. So evidently pleasing. 130 into 11-4 Jolly now.
130 Mississippi, 13-2 Briar, 15-2 Eagle Power, and 8-1 Pacific Heights. Without wishing to denigrate Tim Pitt in any way, is it not fair to say Pacific Heights, with another trainer with a higher profile at present, and he might be a couple of points shorter in the market based on what he achieved at Doncaster?
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. You know, when we look at races like this, Stuart, we look at the usual suspects, don't we? Trainers who are in the usual habit of winning maiden races. Now, you would, if you had to categorise Tim Pitt's career, you would probably look more towards handicaps than races like this. I don't think that's in any way being actionable or rude towards him. That's the sort of horses that he gets. This is obviously an interesting one because he's come from Aidan O'Brien, but no, I think that's a perfectly fair point. I think he probably would be a point or two shorter.
I'm intrigued to see how the filly Nimble Thimble gets on. She's a 25's chance for Roger Charlton. Cactus Valley, similar price, finished fourth in the previous race. She's a half-sister to Three Valleys, and purely on looks, I really did like her going around the parade ring. There aren't too many more to go, so let's just try and draw a few threads together. Not much to go on here, but what do you like?
I actually, in the paper, I put in Al-Baydar, I hope I pronounced that correctly, who looked certainly in need of the experience first time up at Newmarket last back end. Probably will do with I'm almost certainly will end up with over another furlong or so in time. But I thought, again, this was a race that we should have a look at the video and see basically what the newcomers and the second timers come up with.
Tactically, the race might be interesting as well. 2 races at Kempton so far this afternoon. A steadily run affair to the handicap to kick off with. Gallantry raced handily throughout, and Tom McLaughlin, his rider, pressed home an advantage early in the straight. And it was a similar story in the first division of this race half an hour ago, when Eddie Ahern had Hurricane in Dubai sharply out of the stalls and dictated what seemed to be a fairly ordinary gallop before setting his seal on the race some way from home and having enough to hold on. We'll see how this progresses. Just one to go, so let's head back to box and rejoin Simon.
Pacific Heights makes up the line then for the second division of the Betfair supporting grassroots racing maiden, and away they go. Pretty good break this time. Nassau Storm up the inside of American Bling. Pacific Heights was away well, and Class Win is driving between runners with Mississippi right on the sharp end as well as they race in a heap down the back straight. Miqdar is the early back marker, and Nimble Thimble is second last, and it's Mississippi that shows the way then, followed by Al-Baydar now poking through. Out wide then is Class Win. They're followed by Pacific Heights out wide. On the inside in the dark and the yellow stripes is Nassau Storm, followed through by Eagle Power. Nassau Storm getting cramped up there. Nimble Thimble caught in a little bit of a backwash and was switched to the outside. Out wide, Gold Edition at the moment in the red sleeves in the second half of the field behind Highball Roller, as continuing to cut it out is Mississippi. From Class Win, Nassau Storm. Pacific Heights is right there too, followed by Al-Baydar. A length and a half then to American Bling and Highball Roller. Eagle Power is further back from Gold Edition, who's got plenty to do at this stage. Out wide, Perfect Outlook from Briar, Rydale Lass, and out towards the rear, Miqdar demotes Nimble Thimble to last. Down the home straight, and it's Mississippi. Al-Baydar in the black and yellow jacket. Nassau Storm coming at the leader as well. Then Class Win working out to Pacific Heights with the white face, and wider still is Eagle Power staying on, but Mississippi has quickened up from the front here, entering the final furlong. Going to take some pegging back, in fact. Mississippi is way too good. Al-Baydar in second, then Nassau Storm, Eagle Power and Pacific Heights, but this is going to be won impressively by Mississippi. Ease down. In second, Eagle Power on the near side of Al-Baydar. Pacific Heights 4, then Nassau Storm, and the running on Gold Edition.
Once again, a seemingly steadily run affair, and the winner emerging, having always been handily placed, and Mississippi under Martin Dwyer, having been gelded since his sole start at the Curragh behind Nephrite, has run out a fairly impressive winner of this maiden day.
Yeah, you'd say that. I think that what we were hoping for from some of the newcomers didn't really materialise here, did it? Gold Edition, rarely for one of Jeremy Nasida's, just looked as though he was a fair way from the finished article mentally anyway. Kept on well from the 2-pole. Let's have a look at it from the start here. The first point to make, I suppose, Miqdar in the Hamdan Silks was fairly slowly away. They didn't go a massively quick gallop again. Once, I think, we've had 2 Maidals now, have we had? No, we haven't. we've had a...
Gallantry was always up there. Hurricane and Dubai are made most, if not made.
Yeah, we've had sort of we've had one always prominent and two made alls, haven't we? On the outside there in the Sides to Hail colours is Class Win.